We are going to take a look at all things GITEX. Georgia Tolley has been literally stalking the halls for us this week and doing a lot of interviews with the guys from Presight. Thomas Pramotedham is becoming something of a regular voice on this show. He is the CEO of Presight, and Georgia has been talking to him about some of their latest announcements.
When you first look at language models, they were very generic, right? So G42 has launched generic language models in Arabic, in Kazakh, and Hindi. And the world moved towards agentic AI models, so very more specific language models that does a certain task. What the federal government want to do with the Public Prosecution Office is to create a judiciary language model that does a few things. They want to bridge the digital divide between languages. You know, the UAE is a country of multiple nationalities, and sometimes in a case of investigation, in a case of public prosecution, language becomes a barrier, and the facts of the matter may not be effectively captured. With a language model that translates more than 90 over languages, you bridge that. You make sure that the statements are well recorded. Secondly, this is the first in the world to train a language model that understands the judiciary framework of the country. Right? It's going to assist not just the federal government, but even the Emirates, the Emirati courts, to be able to use something that is common. So you take away discrepancy, you bridge the divide between each offices. There's commonality to the large laws that is complicated, that is complex, especially for nationalities that are not from the Emirates. So I believe this is the world's first. We're excited to partner with the Public Prosecutor Agency to do this.
I mean, that is going to bring extraordinary efficiencies as well from an economic perspective. It's going to be fairer, but also we're going to see those cases move through the court so much faster.
Absolutely. It's not about prosecution. It's about fairness, effectiveness, efficiency, and it's about leaving no mistakes on the table that is miscommunication. I mean, you wouldn't want to be on that end of the conversation just because there's a translation error or a misunderstanding of a law that is common to everyone.
So that's a solid example of how you're working right here in the UAE with the government. But how about internationally? I understand that you've also signed a deal with Bahrain to run their AI strategy.
Yes, well, Bahrain is a very close brother to the UAE, and very naturally the relationships are very close. We already have existing work in Bahrain. The Sheikh Nasser Institute of AI, which is the agreement we signed, is to really take some of the work that we've done here and share it with our Bahraini friends, build foundations that we can co-share, initiatives that will allow them to jumpstart. This is very akin to what the UAE has been doing. We build infrastructure that we want to share with the world globally. We build language models that we put out in the open source community. We build solutions that's been well tested in Abu Dhabi, what Presight does a lot, and then share this with the world. And what we're trying to do is show something that's proven tested to jumpstart the journey of a fellow nation that wants to adopt more AI in their work.
I've been looking around your stand here, and I have to admit, I had a sneak peek at the digital twin of Abu Dhabi. I think that's part of your IntelliCity
Yes.
Sort of strategy, where you're creating digital twins of cities. Why is that going to be so useful in the future? Why is it such a key strategy?
You have to understand the concept of smart cities and smart nations started almost a decade and a half ago. And everyone's looking at where this is going. The true part of where the future city will be, technology will be invisible, right? The way we live in. When technology is invisible, there's need the way to aggregate the sensors of the city. And the sensors of the city is not just about traffic, not about just movement, but there are multiple sensors because the city is a living organism. You know, it's always moving, right? And the idea of IntelliCity is that we want to build a ubiquitous IoT platform that's able to take in multiple devices, multiple sensors, to give you a picture of how the city is performing. And imagine that model onto what the city is and the ability to put generative AI into the program. You should be able to speak to the city. A mayor will come and say, how's my city feeling? How's the air quality? But the ability to understand each part of this evolution of city management practices is really where I think IntelliCity will shine, and to give the ability for cities to aggregate not just one system, but become a system of systems. Right, bringing in the true living organism, the true nervous system, concept of what a city would be. It's the goal that we want to achieve.
Looking ahead, we've got a reality here that AI is expected or projected to contribute over 13% to Abu Dhabi's GDP by 2031. I mean, that is a huge growth. You know, we're seeing Abu Dhabi's ecosystem growing faster than almost anywhere else in the world. What do you see are the biggest opportunities and the biggest challenges looking forward?
Well, I think if we start with opportunities, Abu Dhabi and the UAE has set the vision to become a leader in AI, not just the usage of it, but the production of it. So, we invest in infrastructure, we invest in models, but really I think where the opportunity sits is applied intelligence. So applied artificial intelligence in the areas of city management, which is what we described, in the areas of better judiciary systems that will bridge citizen inequality, if any, the ability to apply technology to finance energy. I think this is where the opportunities are. It's the same evolution you see from infrastructure built to large language models. Where the opportunities in the next 3-5 years is where you apply this artificial intelligence and what is the true impact that we bring to society and the community we're in. When it comes to challenges, right, with all growth comes challenges. I think a big part of it is one, infrastructure. So do you have enough compute power? And with that, we're very blessed that UAE has continued to invest with the announcement of Stargate UAE, with the announcement of the US UAE AI campus. That's a lot of infrastructure we can build on. Then comes the second challenge, education, right? You educate not just the community, but also within the organizations. So for the students, you have MBZ UAI that will do the postgraduate, undergraduate program. In fact, Sheikh Mohammed says, well, we need a 7 to 70 AI education program. So that's going to educate the population. But with all technology, without education of the people who are going to use it, you have no adoption. And with no adoption, the opportunities are not going to realize itself. So I think that's really where one of the challenges would be. And the third, value, right? AI is expensive today because of infrastructure and large language model. To be able to ascertain the value that it brings to you personally, the values that it brings to you as a company, is going to be the key thing that you need to articulate. So if I saved you 3 days of work to achieve the preparation for the next interview you're going to do, how do we value that? And people need to start to understand that time is a value that you get out of it. Efficiency, productivity, creativity, alternate intelligence, but time, the only asset that we cannot replicate, is really a big value. And then you need to put a value to that. GDPs will grow for countries, revenues will grow for us. It's how we apply the technology. I think this is really where it's going to be.
And it was Georgia Tolley speaking to Thomas Pramotedham, who is the CEO of Presight. She's been down at a very, very, very busy GITEX this week.